I'm just making this video for the Jaguars season results. We ended 6-10. I simulated the last three games of the year, and we ended up winning all three of them, which is kind of really annoying. So if you didn't know, I didn't play preseason. Regular season, we beat the Panthers in a shootout. We lost in a shootout. Pretty much every game, we either lost by a lot or a shootout. The Buccaneers was the lowest scoring game that my defense allowed, and that was 20, which is actually a decent size. Other than that, I've been blown out in every week. And after this Texans week was when I turned on All Pro, and then I really started getting blown out. I beat the Jets the second week. Other than that Jets game, it did not look good. Out of frustration, I simulated the last three games of the season. If you saw my Colts video, you might have seen. I ended up beating the Falcons. I beat the Saints. And I beat the Texans. I'll post this video probably the day after my Colts video. After that, I might take at least a week, if not a few weeks, off of Madden. I'm unsure if I'm going to bring back this franchise. More than likely I will, but you never know. The playoff matches are the Colts and the Browns, Eagles, Packers, Texans, Patriots, and Cardinals, Saints in the first round. So I thought might as well just show you who wins the Super Bowl. I upgraded some players. I noticed that a lot of my players got injured. So this is just going to be like a little short video as we move on to next week. I will, when I come back, do like a draft and all that. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. If you want to hit the like button, if you choose to, that's fine. I'm not gonna recommend it if you want, but if you really feel daring, hit the like button, I guess. Because this video is kind of pointless other than to just show who ends up winning. I don't plan to ever simulate games in the future. It's just when I'm getting blown out in every single game and there's no point to play, I'm just going to simulate it. Why did I open this up again? Playoff schedule. So, your wild card matchups. The Colts ended up beating the Browns 31-24. They better if I lost to them so many times like that. The Eagles end up losing to the Packers 22-36. The Texans lost to the Patriots. And the Cardinals ended up losing to the Saints. Before I show you the divisional matchups, I'm just going to quick go over the standings. Obviously, my division was really, really unfair. AFC, your 1 seed's the Titans, your 2 seed's the Chargers, your 3 seed is the Browns. Well, they won. Your 4th seed's the Patriots, your 5th seed is the Texans, and your 6th seed is the Colts. Broncos almost made it. Poor Peyton Manning won't get in. He probably will retire. On the NFC side, your 1 seed's the Seahawks, your 2 seed is the Cowboys, your 3 seed is the Cardinals, your 4 seed is the Packers, it's all in order, 5th seed is the Eagles, and your 6th seed is the 8-8 Saints, who were one of the teams that I ended up simulating against. Simulated against them, the Texans, and the Falcons. So, all-time stats, me against them, I probably won't count those games. Divisional matchups, we're going to go next for the playoffs schedule. We got the Colts and the Titans, Saints and the Seahawks, Patriots and the Chargers, and Packers Cowboys. I'm hoping that the Packers don't win the Super Bowl, to be quite honest. We're going to simulate to next week. Okay, it wants me to hire staff, but your playoff schedule's looking like the divisional matchup. The Colts just annihilated the Titans. Don't the Titans only have one win? I'm just curious. Or one loss. No, they're 13-3. So they went from 11-1. They went 2-2 the last 4 games. Very misleading. The Seahawks obliterated the Saints. Patriots beat the Chargers on the road, and the Packers sadly beat the Cowboys. Oh, sorry. Your AFC and NFC championship rounds, conference matchups: Colts versus Patriots, Packers versus Seahawks. In real life, it was actually the Panthers and the Broncos in the Super Bowl 50. Panthers are like 15-1. I don't know why they aren't even in the playoffs in this one. And the Broncos were 8-8. They were 9-7 in real life, and Peyton Manning won right before retirement. Kind of secretly hoping that Peyton Manning doesn't retire. You know, first off, I wouldn't mind to have him next year. But we'll see the Super Bowl matchup in just a second. Then I'll obviously show you the scores. Okay, I lied. Apparently they aren't going to show the Super Bowl matchup like they do in normal Maddens. We're just going to see the preseason, no, postseason. League schedule is what I meant. See the schedule. The Patriots beat the Colts by 3. And the Packers, of course, have to go to the Super Bowl. Come on, Patriots. It'll be the only time I root for you. Alright. Some link to next week. And your Super Bowl champions, if it's the Packers, please don't be the Packers. Your Super Bowl 50 champions end up going to... One sec. Oh, it hasn't happened yet. I didn't even think about that. There's the championship. Okay, well, now your Super Bowl 50 champions are going to be, drumroll please. I don't edit, so hopefully I'll edit one day. Of course, this is taking forever. Now I can say it. Your Super Bowl champions are the... God damn it. It's the fucking Packers. Brady, come on. First off, I lose. I go 3-10. And then I simulate. And I get even more pissed off because my team went to 6-10. And then that happens. I did switch to my owner so I could see the team success because I actually am curious on that. Our all-time record is 150 and 170. So knowing that we went 3-10, before it was like 147 and 150. Owner, team success. I wish we could see the other teams for team success, but unfortunately we can't. If we could get, you know, at some point to 200 wins all time. Our previous record was 6-10, so we are actually 144 and 150. Okay. I mean, obviously, hoping for a winning record, we have to go 13-3, but we're gonna need a huge turnaround. I'm going to quick re-sign my players because I can. You know what? Nah, I'm not going to re-sign them. Yet. You listening to that? Yet. I did make this video just to give you like a recap on this season. So right before I go, I'm going to show you the season stats. No, Vic's not here. Don't say he's retiring. Oh gosh. Anyways, it won't show me Vic's because he's probably going to retire. But Bortles had like almost 3,000 passing yards, 14 touchdowns. Vic was like 3,200 and like 17 touchdowns. Heineke, decent stats. Rushing wise, Johnson went over 1,000 yards. He had 11 touchdowns. Ajayi almost 500 touchdowns in the 2 games I simulated. He got 2 touchdowns, of course. Actually, he got 1 in that Colts game. Peyton Hillis, a little shy of 250, got 3 touchdowns. Asiata actually did a lot better than I thought he would. 150 almost, 4 touchdowns. Obviously, quarterbacks now. Spencer Ware only had 40 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. He's a fullback. Receiving, Julius Thomas over 2,000 passing yards. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't even check this yet, but he is first. How is Randall Cobb second? I guess he wasn't old this time. However, Thomas wasn't really that big in the end zone, knowing that he only had 4 touchdowns, as you see here, but he had 125 catches. Imagine I played those last couple games. He'd have even better stats. Chris Johnson, 70 receptions, which for a running back is insane. 575 total receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Locke was our end zone guy. Even though he got injured for like 5 weeks, he still managed to receive 10 touchdowns, go over 1,000 yards. If we had him the whole season, that would be better. A lot better, mind you that. Allen Robinson, I thought that was his rookie year, Robinson, but it's actually his second year now. 54 catches, 831, 5 touchdowns. Ware did pretty decent. Lewis almost 500. Burleson almost 500. Burleson was my 3rd receiver for a decent chunk of the season. Really underperformed till I put Mike Williams there. I wish I had Williams there before. But you know what? It is what it is. Gresham kind of was an underrated guy. I went to him like 1 week. And then I went to him another week. Other than those 2 weeks. But Travis Benjamin was the guy I really should have paid attention to. 9 receptions, 174 yards, averaged 19.3 per catch. I mentioned it a few times this season. I wish I would have gone to him more. Peyton Hillis, 6 for 29, a touchdown. Blocking. Defensive. My defenders really sucked this season. I had a few good people. Like, my defensive tackles are my 2 best players. Honestly. Chris Smith was actually out for a lot of the year, so that was really impressive that he could get to 10. Ryan Davis. Like, my defensive ends are, like, great, but when you go to the corners, they suck. As for interceptions, one of them had 5. Our middle linebacker had 3, then 2. Otherwise, yeah, not really much for defensive turnovers. If we go to fumbles, actually recovered, I got 1 fumble recovery with one of these guys. I don't know which one it was. If one of you diehard fans, I don't even have any, but if one of you guys know who that was, just comment down below. I'll probably heart it. Kicking wise, Lambeau went 93% extra points, 88 for field goals. Of what I remember, he only missed 2 for me, so the CPU missed 2 of them on their own. Probably because he's a 57 overall, even with me moving him up. Punting, Anger had a good year. I actually don't know what a good year is for a punter, but I'm sure he had one. He punted a lot. Benjamin had a lot of returns. If we're talking about average yards, Lockett was your guy. He actually had a rush back touchdown. He ended up missing 4 games, played a lot less downs, punt return. That was where Benjamin was at. Didn't get a single touchdown, though. And yeah, that was pretty much the season. So I can already assume that Michael Vick's going to retire. I want to look at the career. Oh, it's not going to show Vick. For those of you wondering, here's the career numbers. Quarterbacks, I guess Bortles says 25. Rushing, Chris Johnson, almost at that 10,000 mark. He'll hit it next year because I'm going to definitely re-sign Chris Johnson. He's a fun back to play with when he gets open. Hillis, in 8 seasons, 3,000 yards, kind of underperforming. He also has a Madden cover, so, I mean, he's a one-year wonder pretty much. Asiata, 888. And receiving, Burleson's near the top. Johnson's second because this goes off receptions. If we're going off of yards, though, Lewis has a lot more. But Julius Thomas has played 5 seasons. He had like 1,200 in 4 seasons. In 1 season, he got 800 more, almost double what he had previously in 28 touchdowns. Burleson's near the top of 40. He actually is at the top, then 29, 28. And yeah, I'll just scroll through. If you guys want to like pause at any moment, feel free to. I'll do the same with rushing, even though it's not as much. Defensive, top of the tackles is Postley. Tackles for loss, sacks. Top guy is 30. I think he has 17 this year. Interceptions. Our middle linebacker, Pushuzny. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea, to be honest. But he has 14 interceptions. And then fumble recoveries. Kicking, Josh Lambo. All time. He hasn't played before now. This is rookie year. Anger, if you want to really know. Near the top of kick returns is Nate Burleson, Travis Benjamin, and obviously since Lockett was a rookie this season, wasn't near the top for that. Burleson is more of a returning guy as well. He's just not anymore because I have Travis Benjamin and Tyler Lockett. But yeah, that was pretty much my career stats. If we go to all time, go to the team, go to all. Here's all the closest to Hall of Fame. Vic was a lot higher, but before I go, I want to check the awards, yearly awards. So Mariota wins MVP. No one was even from the Jags. Coach of the year. I don't know why I'd have a coach of the year in the top 10 when I'm the one of the worst teams. AFC, because that's who I am. While second for offensive player of the year was LaShawn McCoy, one of my favorite players. Defensive player of the year, though, Paul. My middle linebacker. This guy. He's definitely staying in a starting role. I'm not trading him, not giving him up. I didn't know that this guy would be here. I think he's a corner, Brown. Maybe my offense wasn't too bad. Or my defense, I should say. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Lockett got 3rd. I'm not shocked by that. Ajayi got 8th, and Heineke got 10th. Heineke barely played, so that's kind of surprising. You can also look at other stats if you want. Best quarterback. Vic wasn't even on there. There's 16 to choose from, basically. Best running back. Chris Johnson got 8th for best running back in the AFC. But not as much. Alright, well, that's going to be it. Except, of course, retirement. Transition. And Terry retired.
I'm sorry, I have my music playing, but
And
what'd you say? Jaden, are you playing with a friend right now?
Allen retires. Wayne retires. Damn it, Vic retires. That fucking sucks. And that's not much more. Alright, well that's it.